Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my podcast. I'm really happy to have you guys here. So, my name is Adele Skinner. I am a feminine energy and inner work coach. And I want to share something with you that has been really life changing for me and something that I have been working towards for the last year and a half. And I want to share some of the journey, some of the progress that I have had with you, so that if you're going through a healing journey of your own, if you're trying to heal from trauma, if you're trying to heal from abuse, if you're trying to heal from self-loathing, I want to let you know that there is peace, there is joy on the other side, and I want you to know also that there are some practices that you can put into place that will help expedite you on your journey of healing. I know this because I have done this. I have been in a relationship, or I was in a relationship for 20 years that was painful, that was abusive, that was toxic, that was not aligned to the idea or the view that I wanted. And there was a lot of pain that came from that relationship. But there was also a lot of healing and a lot of growth. And I am the person that I am today because of that relationship and because of the things that I've gone through. So I want to share some of the things that I have done, some of the things that I have found that have really helped me. Because if it helped me, I know that it's going to help you. And that's what we're here for, right? We're here to help each other on this path of life. We're here to help heal each other. We're here to help support and encourage and just to let each other know that we're not doing this by ourselves. So something that I just this week experienced that I'm so grateful for, because it's something that I have been praying for and something that I've been longing for and wanting for, is the gift of forgiveness and the ability to stop blaming the people in my life that hurt me. And it's like I said, this is huge for me because it's something that I've desperately wanted for so long. And I'm not discrediting the journey that I've been on. I'm not saying that it was wrong for it to have taken this long for me to get to this point. What I'm saying is that as we're going through this healing journey, we're going to experience lots of different emotions. And the thing that I did this week was to allow myself to just accept where I'm at. When we go through something that's hard or when we go through something that's hurtful, we want to get out of that pain as quickly as possible. That's just human nature, right? Like, we don't enjoy the feelings of anxiety, of fear, of blame, of worrying whether or not we're doing things right, or fear of it never ending. Like, we want to get out of those feelings and those emotions because it hurts. It's not comfortable. But the thing that I realized this week, and this is kind of just a combination of a lot of things all together, but I was finally ready at this point to just accept where I'm at and just be like, you know what? Everything happened the way that it happened because it was supposed to happen. Everything's happening the way that it is happening because it is supposed to be happening this way. Like, even when I feel like things aren't changing, that I'm not getting better, or that things aren't moving in the direction that I want, I was able to just sit in that and be like, and that's okay. Like, it's okay that last week I was feeling great and on top of the world, and it's okay that this week I feel lots of anxiety. It's okay that this week I'm struggling a little bit more to really love myself, to really let myself just accept the emotions that I'm feeling. Like, it's okay wherever you're at. And I think that is really important. I'm not going to say it's the most important, because I think all of the aspects of self-healing are the most important. But I've just realized that radical acceptance of where you are and completely letting go of resistance to where you think you should be or how you think things should be is a key element to healing and to getting past those things that hurt you. So, like I said before, I've really been wanting and I've really been praying for forgiveness towards the people that have hurt me. And I don't know if this is like the end road, that finally I'm there and I will never have flashbacks or I will never have things come up that cause more pain. But I do know that every time I move myself forward to letting go of blame and letting go of being angry with them for the things that happened to me or the life that I'm living now, every time I move forward in that journey, another chip is taken off of the pain that I have felt. So today, as I was doing my meditation, I realized that I no longer feel the emotions of blame. So before, anytime I would see like a Facebook reel or if somebody would be talking, they'd be like, oh, well, I don't know, talking about some different maybe abuse that have happened in relationships, or being dismissed for, because you're a woman, or being dismissed because you're not valuable to this person or whatever. I would feel like, yeah, that's what happened. And I would like feel this anger come up. But as I was doing my meditation today, I had the experience where I had the opportunity to be like, you know what? If I want to continue to blame this person and these people for the things that happened years ago, or, in my past relationship, if I want to continue to blame them, and that's fine if you want to, because that's where I was and it was a journey I needed to take. But when you continue to blame somebody, you're not accepting, or you're not allowing yourself to look back and gather lessons from the things that you have experienced. So instead of blaming these people, what I have chosen to do instead is look at it and be like, they were hurt people who then hurt people. Because that's how it works, right? When you are hurt, when you are not in a place of personal safety, when you're not safe with yourself, you then go out and cause unsafety or try to cause unsafety towards other people, because that gives you a hit of dopamine and that gives you like a false sense of control. And so when I could kind of look at it that way, and I've seen it that way before, but for some reason, this one was different, where I was like, I purposefully choose to no longer blame my past experiences on these people. What I'm choosing to do instead is I'm choosing to look at the woman that I have become, and I'm choosing to take the lessons that I have learned, and I'm choosing to be grateful for them, and I'm choosing to stop resisting thinking that I should be maybe further ahead in this journey or in a different place in this journey than I am. Like, I'm just radically accepting where I am right now. And that sounds, if you're like at the beginning of, healing through trauma, or if you're just coming out of an abusive relationship, that might feel completely like a different language to you. And it might sound completely terrifying, because that's how it was for me. For me, I had to go through a different healing process before I could get to this one. I had to be angry. I had to look at and see and recognize the things that they did that was not okay. And I had to just be radically honest with myself. And that's okay. I think that is probably one of the first steps. You have to be very, very honest with how you're feeling and where you're at and what you're going through. So we like to pretend that we can lie to ourselves. We like to pretend that we can tell ourselves that we're fine, or that that certain people aren't painful to be around, or we just like to pretend. But the truth is, you can't lie to yourself. You really can't. And when you try, what you're doing is you're discrediting that part of you that knows. We call that's our feminine energy side. That's the side that just has a deep knowing and a deep connection to intuition. So when we try to lie to ourselves, what we're doing is we're gaslighting ourselves. That doesn't help anybody ever. So let yourself be really, really honest with how you're feeling. Now, the way that this is going to be healing and not hurtful is when you're honest with yourself and you love yourself through the process. So you can decide, you know what, I feel really angry. Like, I cannot believe that somebody would do that to me. Like, I'm so angry. But instead of being like, oh my gosh, we shouldn't feel that. That's not okay. You know, that's not Christ-like, or we shouldn't feel those feelings. When you have these two like warring energies within you, if you're wanting to be honest with yourself, but then there's another part of you that's shaming that part, that is going to be super damaging, because then you don't know how to be honest with yourself. You don't know how to express yourself, and you don't know how to accept yourself when you're going through difficult emotions. So it's easy to accept ourselves when we're going through something great, right? When we're happy and when everything's going great, we're just like, man, I'm awesome. Everything's so easy. But what about when you're going through something that's hard? When you have those emotions of hate and anger and betrayal and fear and worry. Like, what if you have those emotions? Can you love yourself through those emotions? It has to start there. When you can stop blaming yourself for having the emotions that you're feeling, and you can heal yourself, and you can remind yourself, hey, I've got you. You are safe. When you can get to that point, being able to stop blaming the other person for hurting you is that much closer, is that much easier. So I talked last week about feminine and masculine energy and how to heal those two energies so that you can do exactly what I'm telling you right now. Once you heal those two energies, you are able to love yourself so much. You don't need the validation of other people when you can love yourself. You can be radically honest and say, I feel whatever feelings you're feeling. And then you can say, and I love you. And you are no less worthy because you're feeling those feelings. That's so important, because what that does is that's teaching you something that maybe you didn't know before. When you bring this into consciousness, when you recognize what is going on, what you're doing or what you're not doing, and what you can and you should be doing, it makes healing so much easier, because instead of just sitting in the pain of fear and worry and anger and anxiety, you can love yourself in that. Like, yeah, you're still going to feel it, and that's okay. Our bodies were created to be able to process emotions. So the way that you are able to go through this, like the stop blaming yourself, is first you have to connect to your body. So I have a 5-step process that I use. It's called the GRACE model, and it walks you through each of these 5 steps. And you can go through these steps. When I explain them, I feel like it takes forever. But when I actually move through them, it's really, really fast. So the first one is just taking deep breaths, connecting to your body. So you're feeling anxiety. You're feeling those memories or those feelings of, I can't believe that this happened to me, or that that they did this to me, or that I allowed this to happen. I had a lot of self-blame too. Like, why wasn't I more courageous? Why didn't I stand up for myself? Why did I put up with that? Like, I blamed myself so much, but it was almost more protective for me to blame them. Like, oh, it's all their fault. So it works with any of these situations. So if you're going through some blame or some anger, some anxiety, just take really deep breaths and focus on, where am I feeling this in my body? For me, it was most often like in my stomach area. That was where my anxiety would sit, or my chest. So when you can connect to that, then you can say, all right, what am I feeling? Like, just be super honest with yourself. Like, you need to be your best friend. You need to be your best counselor, your best protector, your best whatever it is that you need. You have to be that, because nobody else knows exactly what you're feeling, exactly what you're going through, other than, of course, Jesus Christ. And he is in the trenches with you. So you invite him in. He is the only person who really knows besides yourself. So be radically honest with yourself. Like, what am I feeling? Like, you're not in front of a jury. You don't have to tell anybody what you're feeling. Like, nobody else has to know. But you can be honest with yourself, even if it's like these quote unquote like bad emotions. I don't believe any emotion is a bad emotion. I believe that we experience things and we can process them, and they turn bad when we try to hold them in. Hate and anger turn bad when we hold them in and pretend that they're not there, because then they fester. Have you guys ever seen a wound that is not taken care of, that is not cleaned out? The wound was not the problem. The problem is that it wasn't taken care of. So you're allowed to feel all the feelings, even hate, anger, all of the nasty feelings. You're allowed to feel them. That's a wound, right? The issue is if you refuse to clean it out. This is you clearing it out. You're recognizing, you're saying, yeah, this is what I'm feeling. And then you're going to love yourself through it. Okay, so you're going to ground yourself. That's the G step. You're going to take that deep breath. Where do I feel it in my body? And then you're going to recognize, what is it that I'm feeling? That's your R step. The next one is that acceptance. You're going to accept and love yourself through it. Yeah, I feel so much hatred towards this person or this experience, or I feel so much anger. Like, be so honest. And then be like, and I love you. Of course you feel angry. Of course you hate what happened to you. You might even hate that person, and of course you do. You are human, and I love you. Christ is right there with you the entire time. It doesn't matter what emotions you're feeling. He loves you through it all. And if he can love you through it all, you 100% can love you through it all. You are a human having a human experience. You're going to experience different emotions, and it's okay. You're supposed to. So that's the acceptance. Love yourself through it. And the next step is C, connect. This is where you're connecting with your heavenly parents. And you're asking, like, who do I want to be on the other side of these feelings? Who do I want to be on the other side of this anger, this fear, this worry, this blame? Like, who do I want to be? And then when you get that answer, it could be, I don't know, whatever answer that comes to you. It could be somebody that is able to just live in the moment, live in the present moment, and not stress and worry about the future. That was me for a long time, because I was so worried, like, well, what if this happens? And what if they do this? And then what happens in the summertime? And then, like, there was just so much fear. A lot of times my answer was, just be present. Like, it's okay. Just be present in this moment. Feel your feelings, experience your feelings. Let's not stress about the future. Let's just be present. Like, whatever answer comes to you, listen to it, because that is them telling you how to get to where you want to be. And sometimes the answer might not be what you want. The answer might not be what you're expecting. But I promise you that every answer that you receive, even if it's something that is uncomfortable, is the path to peace. There have been times when I have had answers to things, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to send that text. I don't want to, like, give in that way, right? Because as humans, we want to, like, stand our ground. But when you recognize and realize that everything that our heavenly parents are doing is to bring us to peace, and when we can surrender to that and be like, I hate this, I don't want to do this, but ultimately, if you're wanting peace, that's the path. All right, your path, what you think is going to bring you peace, like sticking it to the man or making sure that things work out the way that you want, that's not going to bring you peace. That's going to give you a hit of dopamine and pound your chest and hoorah, I won, but that's not going to bring you to peace. But if you can surrender to whatever it is that they are telling you to do, that is what will ultimately bring you to peace. I promise you. I promise you, because I've played both sides. All right. I've had an answer and I've thought, nope, I'm not sending that text, or nope, I'm not doing that thing. That would cause me to humble myself, or that would cause me to maybe admit that I was wrong in a certain situation. And that's not happening. I've played that game, and guess what? What happens? It brings you to more pain, and it brings you to more fear, and it brings you to more chaos. But guess what happens when you listen? I've experienced that where I'm like, all right, I know, I trust you, God. I trust you. I have no idea how you're going to make this work. I have no idea, but I trust you enough to humble myself that whatever you tell me to do, I will do it. So that is the connection piece. Connect to God and let him tell you where on this path you need to go, or what actions on this path you need to take. And then the last step is embody. And that is actually following through with the steps. That's actually following through with that commitment of whatever you tell me to do, I will do. So when you get to that point, you start to recognize and you start to know that even though you've gone through these hard times, even though things have hurt, you can still move past it. Like, you still can heal. You don't have to continually blame the other person for the pain that you have experienced. Make sure when you're doing this and you're ready to let go of the blame, that you have gotten rid of all of the blame for yourself. Make sure that you are in that place where it's true surrender, it's truly letting go, and that you are willing to move forward. One thing that we, again, as humans like to do, we like to trick ourselves, or try to trick ourselves. And just making sure that you're being honest with yourself is the best part, and not resisting it. So you might still feel a lot of anxiety like I did this week. There was still so much there, and I was just like, why can't I move forward with this? I felt like I was trudging through mud, and it was really frustrating. But once I just decided, you know what? Everything that I'm experiencing right now, I'm supposed to be experiencing it. I don't know why. I don't know why I needed to have the anxiety. I don't know why I've needed to do X, Y, or Z. But when I let go of trying to force the outcome that I thought that I needed, and I just surrendered into it, that's when answers started coming. Like, I realized I don't need to blame these people anymore, but I also refuse to tolerate the abuse anymore, right? Like, you don't have to blame somebody. You don't have to let go of blaming somebody. Okay, how do I want to say this? Letting go of blaming people does not mean that you tolerate their behavior. That's what I wanted to say. You can have no animosity towards somebody that has hurt you, and you can still decide, I will never trust you again. I will never put myself in a position to be hurt again. So I realized that, and that gave me so much freedom, because there is a false idea around forgiveness, and I think everybody has it, because I hear it all the time. refusing or not wanting to let go of blame, not wanting to let go and forgive somebody, because that's like giving them a free pass. It's like saying what you did didn't matter. It feels like self-abandonment, honestly. That's what it felt like to me when I like wanted to forgive, because I didn't want to carry around this pain anymore. But also I wanted validation. I wanted retribution. Like I was so angry. I wanted justice is what I wanted for myself. And the way I believe that I was able to get there was by radically loving myself through it and not pretending that it wasn't painful. Like, the abuse that I went through wasn't, it's not like I was beaten every day, right? Like, I didn't ever have a gun held to my head. It was more like it was emotional abuse, sometimes physical abuse, definitely verbal abuse. Like, that's the type of abuse that I went through. And so part of me, sometimes I would be like, oh, it really wasn't that bad, or it wasn't all the time. But I had to validate myself. I had to be like, it doesn't matter how bad or not bad it was. You were hurt. And so I needed to love myself. And when I could love myself through that and be like, I see you. I see the pain that you went through. I see the things that you experienced. And I love you. When I was able to go through that, and it took me, I've gone through hundreds of my grace models, working through, chipping through little pieces of the pain to get to where I'm at right now. But I was committed to loving myself through the process, to recognizing the emotions that I was feeling, to stop gaslighting myself and stop pretending like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Everybody says, or they said it wasn't that bad, or, they told me it wasn't that bad. I had to be really, really honest with myself. And when I could get to that point, I realized that I love who I am. I don't know that, or I know for a fact, I will never put myself in a position like that again. Ever, 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 ever. I will never stay in a relationship that is hurtful like that. I will never be around people that are hurtful like that. I will never do that again. But at the same time, I look back and I just think, oh my gosh, I have grown so much. The self-respect that I have for myself now is leaps and bounds ahead, obviously, of what I had back then. And so I have made a conscious decision. Like, these things I think that we have opportunities to let go of the pain. We have opportunities to let go and forgive. And then we have to make a conscious decision to move forward. And I don't know that if this is going to be the last time that I'm going to have to go through this. I have a feeling that it's not, that I'm going to have other things that I'm going to need to give forgiveness for. But I made a conscious decision to be like, you know what? I choose to no longer blame these people for the hurt that they have caused. Because if I'm blaming them, then it's taking away from where I am now, if that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense. Like, if I continue to blame them, be like, I wish they hadn't, they shouldn't have, how could they? I'm staying in the past. I'm not fully appreciating and loving this version of me, this future, this present, this healed version of me. Like, I just decided, Adele, you have to let this go. It is what it is, and they did what they did. I can't go back and fix it. I can't go back and change it. So me continuing to ruminate on the past and being angry about the past is not helping me right now. And so whenever those feelings come up, because we're on a roller coaster, or almost like ocean waves, right? You don't heal once and then you never experience it again. I feel like it's something that we have the opportunity to experience multiple times. I don't believe we experience the exact same pain or the exact same trauma multiple times, but I believe that we experience different layers of it or different aspects of it or different versions of it. So I can choose to stay present and be like, I am going to love myself right now. And I'm so grateful for the woman that I have chosen to become. I do not believe that it's okay for people to treat other people poorly. I do not believe that abuse is okay. But I do believe in a God that can take the deepest pain and turn it into the greatest joy, the greatest ability to help and teach and lead other people. Like, I believe that we live in a universe and we are children of heavenly parents that can alchemize our pain and turn it into our strengths and turn it into something that we can be so grateful for and so proud of. So that's my take on what I've been going through this week and the things that I've been doing to help facilitate and get me to where I'm at. Everything that you do on a healing journey is bringing you closer to the peace that you want. Am I there yet? Absolutely not. Am I going to have opportunities to feel deep pain? Absolutely. Am I going to have opportunities, and do I now have the tools to work through these opportunities to land on the other side and be where I want to be? Absolutely. Yes. And that's what I want to share with you. I want to share with you the tools, which is the grace model. That is what I have used countless times. And it has helped me so much. It has helped to awaken that feminine energy side of me, that loving, that intuitive, that creative, that compassionate side. And it has helped to wake up the masculine side of protection, of direction, of making sure that I never land in the position that I have been in the past. That masculine side, that protective side, is going to listen to my intuition. When I have a feeling like this doesn't feel right, then I will listen. I'm so grateful for those opportunities. And I hope that by me sharing my journey, I hope that by me sharing some of the tools that I use on my healing journey, that it has helped you, that is giving you access, and it is giving you almost like a roadmap of where to go. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I need to do. You don't want to live in self-blame and self-hatred. You will get nowhere really fast living in that space. It will never serve you. You can never love yourself or hate yourself better. You can't hurt yourself and say mean things to yourself and gaslight yourself and think that you will have lasting, true healing and peace. You just won't. But you can love yourself through it. You can accept yourself through it. And you can be radically honest with where you're at, and you can be okay with where you're at. Our journey is never going to look like how we think it should. We could put together the most beautiful diagrams and the most beautiful plans for where our life is going to go. And it will never end up the way that we think it's going to. And I believe it's because we have heavenly parents that are like, really? You want that when you could have this? Like, they are there to guide us to our highest, happiest, most healed version. So if I leave nothing with you, at least take this. Surrender to what is. That doesn't mean that you sit on the couch and you're just like, well, I surrender. Surrender to the experiences that you're having as you are moving forward in healing. As you are going through the grace model, as you are radically accepting yourself, accept whatever emotions are coming, accept the circumstances that are there. Definitely work towards wanting to heal and to get better and for your circumstances to get better. But you have to first recognize that you are experiencing the things that you need to be experiencing for a reason. We don't always know what they are. Like my bout with anxiety for the last week has been really uncomfortable, like not super duper fun. But I've allowed myself to just sit in it and be like, oh, I feel like my stomach has just been in knots for a long time. And there was really no reason for it, but I just allowed it. And as I allowed it, as I relaxed into it, as I loved myself through it, then I was able to have that breakthrough of, hey, Adele, do you want to continue blaming, or are you ready to move forward? Are you ready to accept and live where you're at right now, or do you want to keep living in the past? I had to go through those things so that I would be ready to make a decision and have the opportunity to make a decision in the here and now. So you are not broken. There's nothing wrong with you if you are feeling pain, if you're feeling hatred and anger, and if you're not forgiving. You're not broken. You're just not accepting yourself where you're at. So do that. Accept yourself, love yourself, work through the grace model. I promise it will make all the difference. I love you. I'm so grateful that I'm able to share my journey, that I'm able to share the experiences that I have had. I don't share that I was in an abusive relationship to punish my ex-spouse or his family. Like, that's not why I'm doing it. I know in the beginning, like I said, I wanted retribution, right? Like I wanted everybody to know. But as I have healed myself, I realize my deepest calling, like what I want, is to find peace and to help others find that peace as well. Like I want to help others as they're navigating these painful, hard emotions, because they are painful and they are hard. For years, I have struggled in them. And it's been the last couple of years that I have been very intentional, like recognizing that the pain that I am feeling has a purpose and it is moving me forward. Inch by inch, maybe, but it was moving me forward. And now I want to share that with you. I want you to see that there is peace on the other side of it. There are tools that will help you. Coming up with the grace model or finding the grace model or having that inspired knowledge given to me has moved me forward leaps and bounds. I'm telling you, months of healing happens in days for me when I'm using the grace model, because it's so radically inclusive of your feminine and your masculine energy. It's so radically inclusive of loving yourself, bringing God in, finding your identity, recognizing that you are so loved and you're so worthy of the healing and the peace that you're wanting. So use that, please use that and heal. If you want to connect with me, I have links down below that you can set up private coaching with me. I have a Facebook group that you're able to get on there, and you can comment and talk to me on there as well. I love you. You have got this. It's hard and it's hurtful, or it's not hurtful. It's painful. But I promise that pain can be alchemized into the greatest joy and the greatest purpose if you allow it. I love you, and I will talk to you later.